The opening days of the 2026 FIFA World Cup have already produced unforgettable moments on the pitch, but one of the most talked about incidents happened away from the action itself. During a highly anticipated group stage clash between Brazil and Morocco, Brazilian star Vinicius Jr. found himself at the center of a debate that extends far beyond football. As the first half ended and players headed toward the dressing rooms, a broadcaster attempted to conduct a mandatory halftime interview with him. These interviews have become increasingly common in modern football, designed to provide broadcasters with additional content during the break. However, Vinicius declined to participate. When informed that refusing the interview could result in a financial penalty, he calmly responded, "We will pay it," before continuing down the tunnel. The exchange lasted only a few seconds, yet it immediately captured global attention. Fans, journalists, and former players began discussing whether athletes should be obligated to engage with the media while they are still actively competing in a match. Many viewed Vinicius' response not as an act of defiance, but as a statement about maintaining focus during one of the most important sporting events in the world. His brief reply sparked a wider conversation about the growing commercial demands placed on footballers and whether the balance between sport and entertainment is beginning to shift too far toward the business side of the game. In an era where broadcasting rights generate billions of dollars in media access is considered a valuable asset, the incident highlighted a tension that has been quietly building for years. While governing bodies and broadcasters seek greater access to players in order to enhance viewer engagement, many athletes feel that their primary responsibility should remain on the field. As a result, what seemed like a minor moment in a stadium tunnel quickly evolved into one of the defining discussions of TH. What made the situation even more interesting was that it did not happen in isolation. Over the past year, Vinicius Jr. has been involved in several high-profile discussions regarding player treatment, communication, and regulations within football. Earlier in the season, a controversial incident during a European club match led to renewed debates about player conduct and the challenges officials face when trying to identify offensive language during games. In response, football authorities introduced stricter guidelines aimed at improving transparency and accountability on the pitch. Around the same time, questions were also raised about communication barriers at major international tournaments. Some players expressed frustration over language limitations during official media sessions, where translation services were not always available in the languages they felt most comfortable using. None of these issues alone created a major controversy, but together they painted a picture of a modern football environment where players increasingly feel constrained by obligations that extend beyond simply playing the game. As football continues to grow into a global entertainment industry, athletes are expected to fulfill media duties, promotional appearances, and commercial commitments alongside their sporting responsibilities. For many fans, the halftime interview incident became a symbol of a larger discussion about how much should be expected from players while they are still mentally and physically engaged in competition. Another debate that emerged during the tournament centered around the introduction of mandatory hydration breaks. FIFA stated that the policy was designed primarily to protect player health, especially considering the high temperatures expected in several host cities during the summer months. From a medical perspective, ensuring that athletes remain properly hydrated during intense physical activity is a reasonable objective. However, critics pointed out that these scheduled breaks also create additional opportunities for broadcasters to air advertisements. This led some observers to question whether commercial interests were benefiting from a policy presented as a player welfare measure. The discussion intensified after one of the tournament's early matches, when a hydration break occurred shortly after a significant goal, interrupting the emotional momentum of the moment for television viewers. While there is no evidence that the breaks were introduced for advertising purposes alone, the overlap between player welfare initiatives and commercial opportunities fueled ongoing debate. For many supporters, the issue was less about a specific stoppage and more about the growing influence of television and sponsorship demands on the structure of the game itself. Ultimately, the conversation surrounding Vinicius Jr.'s decision reflects a broader question facing modern football. The sport has evolved into one of the largest entertainment industries in the world, generating billions of dollars through broadcasting rights, sponsorship agreements, and global marketing campaigns. While this growth has helped expand football's reach and financial strength, it has also introduced new pressures and expectation for the players at the center of the spectacle. The balance between competition and commercialization is becoming increasingly difficult to manage. Many fans appreciate the access that interviews, behind-the-scenes content, and enhanced broadcasts provide, but others believe there should be limits, especially during matches. Vinicius' simple response in the tunnel resonated because it represented a player drawing a personal line between his role as an athlete and his role as part of a media product. Whether FIFA chooses to review any of its current policies remains uncertain, but the discussion is unlikely to disappear anytime soon. As the World Cup continues, attention will eventually return to goals, victories, and championship dreams. Yet the questions raised during those few seconds in the tunnel may remain relevant long after the final whistle of the tournament has been blown.